Good evening. I come to you, my fellow Americans, my fellow citizens of the United States of America, to see that we improve the substance in our politics, that we improve the substance within ourselves, that we improve the status of this country. For amid a global emergency, amid an emergency that is very, very crucial to the sustainment of our nation, we still have politicians in the United States of America, and we still have citizens in the United States of America that care more about scoring their political points than they do about the well being of the next person. We all have our differences of politics, politicians, and opinions. We always have and we always will. Partisanship was not intended to be a divide. Partisanship was intended to be as the scientific method would go. We can debate, we can discuss, and we can craft better ways and come together as a people. But even in this day and age, I identify and proudly represent as an independent, a person of free thought, a person of factual thought, a person of investigation. Because the tribalism that has been found, the tribalism that is practiced within partisan politics, has no place. And if ever there was a time that needed to be highlighted, it's now. The partisan politics have been highlighted greatly in this time because there's no hiding it. We have access to all the greatest technology in the world. We have access to information by the second and by the minute and by the hour. There is no excuse for our politicians in the United States of America to take hits politically at each other, to use these political bills as ways of gaslighting the other party, of using these bills as ways of tricking the other party, or using these to affect the outcomes of the election at the end of the year. The Republicans are guilty of it, and the Democrats alike are guilty of it. And the liberals are guilty of it, and the conservatives alike. In the news media at the helm, right in the middle, taking advantage of the free views that it can get every day to ensure that it get its profits. It's time in America we wake up. It's time that you stop excusing your political party's mess ups. That goes for Democrats and that goes for Republicans and anyone in between. It's time to take self responsibility. We have the technology to find out any piece of information that we want, even information within history we never imagined that we could actually get a hold of. There is no longer an excuse to be hypocritical, to be ignorant, or to be intentionally ignorant, to fall the wayside to confirmation bias just for the sake of your tribalism. In this country, a melting pot, a lot of people live here. A lot of people thrive here. But at the same time, a lot of people are suffering, a lot of people need help, and a lot of people want to just find a better way from day to day. There isn't much that I can say, but what I definitely can say is we need to do better. And that action starts with you. All 360 degrees of our politics, whether it be the media, the politicians, or the people who put the politicians and vote for the politicians in their place, need to do better. Self responsibility, extended responsibility, and group responsibility are exactly what are needed for this country to prosper. It's exactly what's needed to help our fellow man, to help our fellow being. Because in this day and age, when we can take a national, an international, a global emergency, and take it and use it just to try to affect the outcomes of the year 2020 election to score political points for one team or the other, selfishness is taken over. And that selfishness is no longer acceptable. That selfishness is pathetic. That selfishness is worthless. And anyone who participates in it willingly and knowingly is a piece of crap. I'm not one for ad hominem. I'm not one to attack people on personal character, but I'm just highlighting the facts that are here. Everyone loves a good roasting, and sometimes that's what it takes to get down to the base Inoculation is rife. Tribalism is rife. People are split 50-50 down the middle. And that 50-50 split isn't because of the other guy. It's because of yourself. It's because of the things you refuse to admit. It's for the selective silence you have to certain issues that you know are a problem, but you refuse to address, oftentimes in your own camp. You see, we are a camp of the United States of America, but right now we act as a divided. We act as something that isn't a team, something we cohabit and exist, and something that we make prosperous and successful as people. We've now thrown it away. This has always existed, but the United States has always persevered. Even for a time, a person of myself, a person of my color, couldn't even be in the position that I am now to even bring the information or the news that I bring here to you today without a threat. Of course, some of us are bullheaded, and we may have still pushed just the same in those harder times, but at the end of the day, we always came together, especially in at times of adversity. And here today, it lacks that, and it's very pathetic. I would like to see us do much better. I would like to see us improve. I would like to see us build our country without the partisanship, tribalism that is dividing it and continuing to divide it. I commend all the people out there who do work together, who want to see past their identification and the flag they choose to fly, and understand that out there, the American flag, the United States of America, is the flag that we fly. We're supposed to lead by example, even as a team. We understand the need for aid to help people, to help other countries, to help our fellow human being, and even our four-legged and multi-legged friends, our environment, and the place we live in. But those things are melting away. And that didn't just happen in 2016 like some of your bias might want you to say. That's been going on for a long time. And for some of those that don't like the outcome of 2016, that divide is what got you the outcome. The things that I just see out here are pathetic. I'd like to say, hey, I'd like to change the world. I'd like to get people to see the facts. I'd like to get people to critically think. I'd like people to understand what's going on around them. I would like people to wake up from this Walking Dead that they basically perpetuate. People say they want the zombie apocalypse to happen because we watch these movies, but the zombie apocalypse is already here. The divide you see in this country is the zombie apocalypse. And that's why I ask you to wake up. Stop being complacent. Realize that politicians that you defend, politicians that you selectively be quiet for because they fly the same team flag of partisanship that you do, are not doing you favors this time around. They're screwing you over. They're taking advantage of your baseless, I don't even really know what I want to call that. I guess I just have no words. That's actually sad because I always have words. But they're taking your baseless loyalty and taking advantage of it. They're hanging over your head what you like to hear, but not what you need, not what you want to see. And even in this year, the success isn't there. So all I ask of you on this day, in my clear eyes voice, as always is very monotone and boring, but the message is always clear, or as clear as I could make it. Critically think, pay attention to your environment, understand what people need, listen to your fellow man even if you don't agree with them, have some empathy enough to listen and maybe understand another person's perspective. Stop blocking people. Stop blocking people out. Stop running people away. And start listening. Start having a real discussion. Stop looking to score metaphorical points across the board and start looking to improve yourself and the others around you. Of course, as I go when it comes to politics in our world, this is the general, and I'm signing off, but I'm signing back on to something productive.